If you've ever applied for an Australian visa, you probably know the feeling. You hit that submit button, and suddenly, your life becomes one long waiting game. You check your email like it owes you money, refresh the immigration portal like it's your side hustle, and start Googling things like typical Australia visa delays at 3 in the morning. Well, in this video, we're talking about what the situation looks like in October 2025. Processing times, delays, what's getting approved quickly, and what feels like it's stuck in a queue longer than the line at the airport during Christmas. If you're planning your move, already applied, or just curious, this will give you a clear picture of where things stand. Let's get into it. Why processing times are such a big deal. When people talk about visas, most focus on eligibility. Can I qualify? Do I have enough points? Am I on the right occupation list? But what catches people off guard is how long it actually takes to hear back. Processing time can make or break your plans. It affects when you can move, whether you can take up a job offer, or even when you should book flights. And here's the thing. This year, the Australian government is trying to be more transparent about visa processing. They're publishing clearer time ranges, updating people more often, and promising to tackle backlogs. But, and it's a big but, some visas are still running faster than others. Some are crawling, and some, well, they make you wonder if your file has been lost behind a desk somewhere. Right now, processing times are influenced by three main things: the annual migration program, the demand for certain visas, and the resources the Department of Home Affairs actually has to process them. And certain popular visas, like the skilled, independent, and partner visas, are still dealing with the ripple effects of the pandemic, backlog, and policy shifts from the last few years. So, where are things moving fast and where are they moving at snail speed? Let's break it down. 1. Skilled visas. This is the big one. Skilled migration is the backbone of Australia's immigration policy, and it's where most people are applying. Skilled, independent, subclass, 189, visa remains competitive. In October, average processing times are sitting around 8 months. That means some lucky applicants are getting their visas approved in under a year, but others might still wait well over a year because the 189 is points-tested and invitation-based. Once you're invited, the clock starts, but the sheer volume of applications slows things down. Skilled nominated subclass 190 is tied to state sponsorship, and the average wait here is around 17 to 25 months. Some states are faster than others. Smaller states like South Australia and Tasmania often move quicker because they're actively encouraging people to settle there. Bigger states like New South Wales, where everyone seems to want to go, are slower. Skilled, work regional, provisional. Subclass 491 has gained a lot of attention because it provides a pathway to permanent residency, but it requires you to live and work in regional areas. Processing times are still lengthy for most occupations, currently 19 to 25 months on average. What's interesting in October is that the government is putting pressure on the department to prioritize applicants with in-demand occupations. So, if your job is in healthcare, teaching, or critical infrastructure, you may slide through the queue faster. If you're applying as a professional in an oversaturated occupation like accounting or IT, get comfortable. You might be waiting. 2. Employer-sponsored visas. If you've got an employer in Australia willing to sponsor you, the processing times are slightly less painful. Skills, in demand, subclass 482 visas are moving pretty quickly at around 19 days to 5 months, depending on the stream. The reason is simple. Employers are crying out for workers, especially in sectors like healthcare, hospitality, and construction. The government knows it needs to get people in fast, so these visas are treated like semi-priorities. Employer Nomination Scheme, Subclass 186 for permanent residency through employer sponsorship, takes about 5 to 18 months. Not lightning fast, but still quicker than some of the independent skilled routes. The upside with employer-sponsored visas in October is that the government is streamlining some checks if the employer is pre-approved and trusted. So, if you're being hired by a large, reputable company, your case may move faster than someone being sponsored by a smaller business. 3. Partner and family visas. Now let's talk about the visas that test relationships in more ways than one. Partner visas. These are notorious for long waits. Right now, the average is between 9 to 24 months. Yes, you heard right. People are still waiting up to 2 years in some cases. The government has promised to reduce these timelines, but demand is huge, and verification takes time. Parent visa applicants, brace yourself. Contributory parent visas are taking around 3 to 6 years, while non-contributory ones are taking over a decade. Some people joke that you should apply for your parents the day you land in Australia, because by the time it's processed, they might finally be ready to retire. Child visas thankfully move faster at around 4 to 28 months. Still not instant, but at least not stuck in limbo for many years. 4. Student and graduate visas. Students are a huge part of Australia's migration system. The government doesn't want to scare them away with slow processing, so they've kept these relatively quick. Student visa subclass 500 are moving at 27 days to 13 months depending on the stream. In many cases, even faster if the paperwork is straightforward and the applicant is from a low-risk country. Temporary graduate visa subclass 485. Processing here is around 8 days to 4 months. This visa lets graduates stay and work in Australia after completing their studies. And while it's slower than the student visa, it's still manageable compared to permanent visas. 5. Visitor visas. For tourists, business visitors, and family visits, processing times are usually quick. Right now, most visitor visas are approved within a month, and some often within a couple of days. The only delays happen when extra checks are required, like proof of funds or travel history concerns. What's causing delays? If you're wondering why some visas move faster than others, here's the short answer. Demand, resources, and complexity. High-demand visas, like partner or skilled independent, get clogged up because so many people apply. Complex visas that involve background checks or sponsor assessments take longer, and the department only has so many officers to process files, which means things pile up when applications spike. Another factor is security checks. Applicants from certain countries face longer verification timelines, which can drag things out. It's not personal, it's just part of the system. Tips to avoid extra delays. You can't control how many applications the government is handling, but you can control how clean your application is. A messy or incomplete file is the #1 reason people end up at the back of the line. Provide clear documents, certified where required. Double-check your forms. If they ask for English test results, don't assume you can submit them later. Upload everything up front. Respond to requests for more information quickly. It sounds obvious, but thousands of people miss simple details and end up adding months to their timeline. Also, keep in mind that some visas allow priority processing if you meet certain criteria. Health professionals, teachers, and people filling critical shortages often get pushed forward. So, if you're in one of those categories, highlight it clearly. When you step back, the big theme in October is balance. Everything else waits its turn.